Coming to you from Crunchyroll HQ, this is the Gachiakuta After Show, where each week we are talking out the trash and breaking down the latest from the anime series, sharing our favorite moments, and so much more. I am your host, Nick Friedman.
It's me, LeAlec Murray.
Let's enter the abyss together.
It's so weird when it's just two of us. It's fine. It's fine.
I'm excited
Double
to be back.
vocals.
I feel like I haven't been on the show in a few weeks.
Yeah, I think the last couple.
Or is it just been? Was it just 1 week that I missed?
I think it might have been 1 week, but it probably feels like two. Anyway, time is a construct.
Yes, it's true. Episode 15 of Gachiakuta, y'all. We are making our way through this series and
Making our way downtown.
making our way downtown. I hope you've all watched the episode. You've had plenty of time to do so.
Yep.
But we got to start things off with our recap. Where do we start, Lee? Where do we find the cleaners?
So the episode kind of starts with a little bit of a recap to show us how we got here, because everybody was celebrating in the bar, and then they all get whisked away into this underground sewer, I guess? Trash sewer? I don't know. But we start with the cleaner crew underground facing off against the Raiders, and the Raiders only really want one thing, and that is Rudo.
Yes.
So they kind of disregard everyone else.
Yeah, and we don't exactly know why, and so that intro where it's like, okay, Rudo gets pulled, and you're like, oh no, and then the rest of the cleaners get pulled into the portal.
Yep.
And then when they get there, they get separated again because the Raiders kind of kick off a trash avalanche, or what do they call it? A trash slide. That's what they call it.
Trash slide, yeah, trash slide, yeah.
And everyone gets swept away, and of course there are branching paths, so the team gets split up, except for Rudo, who is snatched by the boss. He has been revealed. His name is Zotl Typhon. And then we kind of just get this back and forth of a bunch of different fight matchups. I felt like, and this would only work if Lee said it, but I felt like I was watching like a SmackDown night, like SmackDown versus Raw or something.
It was very and it's crazy because as you go through the episode, every matchup is kind of it's either a direct opposite or a direct foil. So for instance with Rio, she's at a complete disadvantage.
Tell us about the different matchups. What are the different matchups?
Yeah, so we'll start with Rio because I said her first. Rio versus Nuerde, and this you kind of see, like I said, Rio's at an immediate disadvantage because the Raider she's going against has static electricity powers, and Rio's weapon is a giant pair of scissors. So
I love that it's a scissor. It's a scissor versus a comb.
Yeah,
right. So they're both
crazy.
Kind of hair tools.
Yeah. It's insane.
We also learn Rio's afraid of roaches.
Yeah, very afraid of roaches, as a matter of fact. And then Zonka versus Jabber, which we have already seen once, but Jabber was like, I feel like I need to spin the block on this fight.
Yes.
He's we're going to talk about that more in a second. I don't want to give much away. Enjin and Fu. The funny thing is that Enjin is goading Fu to come out, and Fu's just like, I just think you're really cool, and I don't want to fight.
Yeah,
he's just hiding out.
Cool.
He's
I don't.
You're great. I don't want to do this. I'm sorry. And Bro and Dare versus Bundus. Don't really know what to expect from this fight. Bundus really looks like he may be a gunslinger of some kind, just based off of his look. But it didn't really reveal a lot about what his powers are. But then we also don't really know what Bro and Dare's powers are either. So I guess we're in for a treat.
Yep.
And then Guida, totally on her own with the bear suit, just hanging out in the trash sewer place underground.
And then this episode kind of ends with an answer to the initial question of why the Raiders want Rudo. And so into the dumpster dive we go. The boss, Zotl, he wants to take down the sphere.
Yeah.
And, of course, we've learned from Rudo, that's kind of where his, revenge mind is with all of this. But also, what does that mean? What does it mean to take down the sphere? Is it...
Yeah, and I guess it could mean, multiple things, right? Because we kind of get the sense, just based off of the trash storm, that the sphere is, floating in some capacity. So I don't know if it's, it could be a twofold thing. He literally wants to bring it down to the ground, and he wants to...
Or he wants to what's the word?
Destabilize
the government of the sphere.
Exactly. So
but
that's kind of...
Yeah.
More so what it seems like, but he could be wanting to do both.
And of course, Rudo cares more about his friends at this point because now he is beloved by a group of ragtag misfits. And he just wants to know where they took Amo. He's like, where's Amo? We don't know where Amo is right now.
No one knows.
And, you know, are they going to use that against Rudo to get him to agree to whatever these machinations are?
Right. And then one thing we also figure out about Zoro is that we kind of like maybe get a glimpse into what his actual like powers are, because at one point Rudo says that he is like unable to like detach himself from, you know, what Zoro's like talking about and saying to him. Like he is just entranced like at every word that, you know, Zoro is saying, and he's like trying to like maintain his composure, but it feels like and there was even a scene where he feels like he's, you know, chained up by like what's going on. So is that connected to the Watchman coat he's wearing? Who knows? Find out next time.
I'm thinking we're going to get a little bit of nuance in these bad guys. I don't know what it is about this show, but I'm thinking there's going to, maybe because it's already happened, but I think we're going to learn something that changes. It kind of changes everything. Yeah. Speaking of which, our second point from the dumpster dive this week, Jabber has a second form.
That was insane. And I was not expecting it whatsoever. And I mean, and the crazy thing that happens is that Zanka was just like, all right, he wants to end it as soon as possible. Yes. And then when he thinks he ends it, it just goes up to, you know, like mid-boss levels, and he's like, well, I guess we're here now.
He's like, I'm just getting started. And you're like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Poor Zanka. I love Zanka.
Yeah, he's great.
I kind of have this theory that second forms, like, okay, so one of the questions I have here is like, will we see other second forms from Givers? And my theory is that maybe it's like the path to the dark side leads to some, powers thought impossible or whatever from Star Wars. I just butchered that quote. But the idea that if you focus on negative emotions as opposed to giving things purpose, you can develop this sort of like second layer. And then maybe that turns into they're able to do that with the positive and purposeful emotions as well. But oh my gosh, I can't wait to see how this fight continues.
Yeah, I think because I still think there's like an element of care with like the villains and like what objects they have too, like their instruments. And I think it may be, I guess, based on like how much care you give an object may be how powerful it is, and it may lead to the second form, right? So like, maybe, there are, givers that just have second forms and we're just kind of seeing them at their base.
Yeah. It opens up the realm of possibilities though, right? Because what are the chances Jabber is the only character who has a second form?
I very much doubt that he is, but I think the shock and awe of like him being the first one that we see have a second form, I think is more so what they're going for. And the big reveal, coming up is that, we all kind of have these, but we don't really like use them unless we have to, right?
So like what is Rudo's second form if he's already got such a malleable power based on what he's touching?
That's interesting because of the way that
I'm scared of what it could be.
Yes, exactly. Like, is it more of like a full, like, vital instrument, like integration thing? Does Zanka get 2 sticks? Does Enjin's umbrella just get bigger? Like, what's happening? Like, I don't know.
2 umbrellas.
2 umbrellas. But yeah, I think this is another cool like little hiccup in the story that we're hitting towards right now.
All right, you mentioned Enjin, which means I am activated. But more importantly, over to the pit pull. Our favorite moment line reveal of episode 15. Mine's quick. Enjin steals the show once again for me when the trash slide begins and everyone's freaking out. Specifically, Zanka is like basically drowning in the trash and like trying to fight against it. Enjin is just legs crossed, sitting on his upside down umbrella, doing a reverse Mary Poppins.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
He's just got the chillest look, and he looks at Zanka and he's like, "Hey, don't fight it. This current's going to take you anyway." And then they get to the branch or the fork in the road, and he's like, "Oh, well, stay alive, everybody." He's giving major Reagan vibes for me, and I love it. I love
his very nonchalant way of like leadership is it's so funny because it's kind of contrast to like how we kind of see his character. Like he's very like almost kind of like a by the book kind of guy, like, and he doesn't get art, and it's like very like, but when it comes to, you know, his leadership style, he's like, like
he's like very capable and powerful and intelligent, and then also aloof.
Yeah, exactly.
How about you, Lee? What was your moment?
So we've already kind of alluded to it, but round 2 of Jabber and Zonka, I did not know that I wanted them to loop back around to this fight. But here we are, and I was hoping they would, especially when, you know, episodes 14 and 15 kind of like, you know, kind of made us realize that we're going to get some one-on-ones here.
Yeah, they're putting a lot of pieces on the board and setting up. It's like I'm ready to play with my action figures.
Yeah, exactly. So I was, you know, really glad to see that, you know, we're going to get this fighting in, especially because I feel like even though we saw a lot in the fight with like Jabber and Rudo, like I think there's a lot more here, especially because we're going to start figuring out the machinations of like the Raiders just in general. And I think a lot of that is going to play out, you know, in the matchups that we see as well.
Man, I say this every time. What an episode.
Right. Because you think you have it, right? You think you figure it out. And then they're like, nope, we give you something else. Like this episode was like, just, nope, we gave you Giver Powers Part 2 Electric Boogaloo. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And the reveal of the boss. So, you know, I guess in my mind, so early on in what could be a long running series, like, where are we going to go? And I know some of the comments that we've gotten on the show have alluded to like, oh, you are not prepared. And you know what? We're not.
We're not. No, we're not. We're just here for the ride. One theory before we close. I feel like Zodal is connected to the Angels and connected to Rudo's dad in some capacity. Like they are all connected. How they are connected, I don't know.
Yep. Egg all over our face if it's wrong.
Yep.
Do people still say that? Do people still say egg on your... Anyway.
I don't know. It's you know what? Let's just move past it.
And then just some real quick housekeeping. As a reminder, new episodes of the Gachiakuta After Show are going to roll out a week after the episode that we'll be talking about. So episode 16 will air the day you're hearing this. And then next Sunday, you'll get our after show with episode 16. So we wanted to give people some more time to watch the show and like really kind of take it in, and then we can talk about it. So stick with us until next time, until episode 16. Lee, are you ready to take us out?
If we must leave the pit, thank you for joining us for another episode of the Gachiakuta After Show, brought to you by Crunchyroll and the folks over at Sony Music Entertainment. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode.
The Gachiakuta After Show is hosted by me, Nick Friedman, LeAlec Murray, and Leah President, who's not here right now.
On assignment.
We are executive produced by Jonathan Hirsch, Joanna Clay, and me. Thank you to our lead producer, Kyla Carnero, and our producer, Carla Solorzano, and our associate producer, Zoe Colkin. Open-Ended Films edited and mixed this episode's audio. Our head of production is Sammy Allison. Special thanks to Tamika Balance Kalasny, and, of course, the creators of Gachiakuta, Kei Urana and Hideyoshi Andou. I love getting to say it every week.
The coolest people we know. We'll be back next week with more Gachiakuta and with more just regular anime effect.
Yeah, catch us on the anime effect. Go hop over there. You can hear more of our dulcet tones.
That's right. All right, y'all. Later days. There's nothing you can do about it.
Oh, that's true. Okay, bye.